Welcome to the Gritcast, where we get into the nitty-gritty of all things hockey. From the East to the West Coast. Here are your hosts, Matt Pierce, Nikosh Ganguly, and Darius Dominguez.
Folks of all ages, welcome back to the Gritcast, episode 21. So we are back today. Been a little week here. We're recording on. Usually we record on Thursdays and upload it Fridays, but we're doing a same day recording here that we're gonna upload it hopefully. Matt, Darius, how was your week? Y'all feeling good going into February here?
As good as it can be. It's really cold outside and I don't like it. So
yeah, it's cold as shit.
Yeah.
It's freezing today. It's like here I think it's like minus 20 in Mississauga.
Feels like minus
Matt,
30.
What's it like over there right now, Matt?
Yeah, it's like minus 19, but with the wind chill, feels
Yes,
like minus
sir.
32. That's
like
how we love it.
Nothing like a little weather conversation to open up the podcast with the fellas.
Wakes you up in the morning.
I don't go outside.
Oh,
all right,
dude, it's so bad.
So today we have not too much to talk about, but there was a very fun segment we're going to get to at the end here. First things first, though, we haven't recorded since this trade happened. Bo Horvat gone to the New York Islanders. Very, very surprising trade, I thought. I was chilling and I got a notification on my phone. And it was like Elliot Freeman retweeted, Patrick Allvin has announced this Monday that, and I was like, oh, it's probably not that important because like, why would they start off a big blockbuster trade tweet like that? And then, I didn't check my phone for like 30 minutes. I opened and it was like, what the fuck? They traded Bo Horvat for Anthony Beauvillier, was it Atu Ratu, and then
first round
conditional
pick.
First.
Yeah,
I believe it's top 12 protected this year, and if the Islanders get it this year, it's unprotected for 2024. So now that we've had 4 days to soak this trade in, I do want to say that Patrick Allvin said, if you look at it, we got 3 first-round picks. No, you didn't. And then Bo Horvat also said in a couple of his interviews that he said he would stay a Canuck for life. And another thing before we get into it here is it looks like the Canucks are going with a core of Andrei Kuzmenko, Elias Pettersson, and JT Miller. Matt, what did you think of the trade?
If Horvat signs an extension with the Islanders, I think it'll be a pretty even trade. I know there were rumblings that Lou was discussing with Horvat for an extension right after. Nothing too much further on that because you know how Lou Lamoriello is. But it's just it's a trade where it wasn't really one-sided in particular. You sort of have to wait to see how it plays out in the end.
Obviously a good trade for the Islanders. We were, I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before, but we were like going in on them about how they don't have enough scoring. They got a guy who can score and will probably help them get to the playoffs. Like that's a big deal too. This is risky for the Islanders too because they could still just not make the playoffs. But they'll probably get in, I think. And they're also a team who can afford to sign him to probably what he's worth next year. So I think it's very interesting for the Islanders to see if he stays, if they even make the playoffs, but obviously a good trade. For the Canucks, yikes, gonna be honest. I mean, the first round pick is nice. Beauvillier, great, good serviceable player, but then like I thought you could get a little bit more for Horvat, but it is what it is.
Also, from everything I read, Atu Ratu he's a pretty good prospect, so we'll see what happens there. I can't really speak on prospects if I'm being honest, but going to Darius's point about the scoring that the Islanders needed, I have Bo Horvat's stats pulled up here. So Bo Horvat has been like basically a 20-plus goal scorer since when was the last time he didn't score 20 goals? The 56-game season, but like fully adjusted, you're scoring more than that. But he's scored 20 goals every year since 16-17. He's scored 30 goals more than once. He's been on pace for 30 goals a couple of times. And this year, you know how it goes. Career season in a contract here. That's always how it works. And right now he's projected to have 50 goals and 37 assists for 87 points in 79 games. That's from Elite Prospects there. So he's never been a 50-goal scorer or even like a point per game guy up until last year. This reminds me of Matt Duchene and like Ryan Johansson. You know what I mean? Like very good centers, upper echelon of the league, you could say. But like, how good really is Bo Horvat? Is he an 87-point player? Is he a 60-point player, or is he somewhere in between? That's my thing with him. Also, when I look at the Islanders' depth, I think they're going to play Barzal at wing now because I don't think the guy kid is a very good guy like at taking faceoffs. So now because when they made the trade, it was like 1-2 punch. Matt Barzal and Brock Nelson. Brock Nelson's one of the better second line centers in the league, I would argue. And then get a guy like Barzal who's also pretty good. So I don't mind that for them if they can play Barzal on the wing. I think Barzal could do amazing on the wing. He could be a really good winger in the league. So we'll see what happens there. But generally speaking, it's interesting from the Islanders. Even in the standings, they're not in the playoffs, and there could be a lot of stuff going on there. But that being said, we stay in the Metropolitan Division and we move to the Washington Capitals, where today Dylan Strome got a nice little lucrative extension, a little 5x5 for him. The Capitals have had an interesting season. It seems like Anthony Mantha is on his way out there. Nicholas Backstrom's having a tough go at it after having freaking hip surgery, which is always hard to come back from. Tom Wilson had like ACL surgery, so obviously it's hard for him to come back. He's injured again. And Evgeny Kuznetsov is having a down year. And Dylan Strome is really, taking on that mantle. He's been playing really good. So what do you guys think of the 5x5 for Dylan Strome here? Darius?
Like you said, he's a very serviceable player for them up the middle, right? He's doing a good job, and he's a guy they're using on the power play. I think he's found a really good home in the Washington Capitals. I was kind of confused in the summer, but then realizing like Backstrom would be out, stuff like that. It's turned out pretty well for him, and he got a good contract for 5 times 5. He'll be there. He's probably going to be there still when OV retires, and yeah, like you said, like he's filled in a really good role for them there, and I think he's found a home for himself.
Mm-hmm. Matt?
Yeah, the stability is nice for Strome because he was one of those players that just kind of floundered until he found a place that accepted him just to be a strong player. And once Kuznetsov and Backstrom kind of take off and go, he'll sort of fill in that role because he's been a really solid center for them this year.
Yeah, and just looking at it here, on pace for 56 points. So honestly, if a 60-point player at this rate is about $5 million, I'd say, the way the league is these days. And
plus the
just
cap's
like
going up in the middle of his deal.
Yeah, that's what they all say. But I think it's a good deal for him. The Capitals are handing a lot of guys like these long-term contracts. I really think they're just like, I don't care what happens to the team, just let Obi get his record and then like go on our merry way here. But he's been good for them. In the offseason, I wanted the Leafs to grab him for the second line left wing spot. I thought he would have been good there. And he's, like Gary said, he's took on the role there in Washington. And I think, they have some guys coming up too. I think they have like a Connor McMichael. I don't know if he's on the team right now, but he's young.
Yeah.
They have a few guys. Hendrix Lapierre is also a guy that's not too bad. And they're getting older. John Carlson's also doing a lot of injuries. All in all, their core is getting older. So it's nice to get a guy like Dylan Strome, who's not too old, not too young. 5 years isn't that much for a guy like him. Maybe it is for the Capitals, but it's not bad. And just kind of pulling up the lines here, if it will. Right now, he's literally their first line center, playing with Alex Ovechkin and Connor Sheary.
And I'd argue he's earned that too.
He's on the second power play unit too. I don't know why. Ovechkin's on both power play units. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he just doesn't leave the ice. Yeah.
Well, because he doesn't. Yeah, it's just cardio for him. He stays in one spot.
It's not even cardio.
No. He literally, he's like, if the puck comes, that's great. If not, like, I'll be here.
Did you guys see that clip of like someone clipped an entire Capitals power play and just like fixated on Ovi, and he literally doesn't move. Like he literally does not move.
It still works though.
And he scored.
Their whole power play format is to open it up for him. Like they're doing shit over here on the right side, and they're just to open it up for him. That's their whole power play, like.
And no one's figured it out. It's actually insane.
Like obviously it's still going back to Ovi. Like how do you not figure that out at this point? Like
it's like when the Warriors were down by 3. Who do you think the ball's going to go to? And you still can't stop it. You can't stop it. It's crazy. But yeah, good for Dylan Strome, man. With that being said, though, the Leafs have had an interesting week. All things considered, they lost to the Bruins in a game where I don't think they inherently played bad. It was a tough go for Ilya Samsonov, who, characteristically has been amazing at home. And he let in a couple stinkers, if we're being honest. The Leafs I thought they outchanced them. They control play more, and they just lost. Sometimes your goalie's not on his best night, so that's interesting. But they head into the All-Star break, and hopefully they can get some guys back. They don't play till February 9th or 10th now, and those games when they're back are Columbus back-to-back, then Chicago. So I don't think Matthews plays in any of those games for what it's worth. They'll just keep resting him. And then hopefully Matt Murray is back soon. But, like, Darius, how much did you, take the Boston game, like, to heart? Or, like, oh, if they don't win this game, this is this. Because I feel like every time the Leafs lose, it's a measuring stick game. But every time they win, it's like, oh, they just won. They're in like like, in that sense.
Yeah. They have that sense of, like, when they win, it's kind of like, well, you should have won. And then when they lose, it's like Disasterville, like fire everybody and trade everyone. They have a little bit of that, and I think that sucks. But I think like majority of the fan base has learned to enjoy the wins. Like, hell yeah, we beat up on this team and stuff, which is nice. But to go back to your question about the Bruins game, I feel like the players are like, everyone's asking them, are you ready for the vacation kind of thing, the All-Star break, all that stuff. And they're like, nah, we're focused on this game. But it's like, I don't know, man. like just the way they played, like, I don't think they played necessarily bad, right? And I think it's biased when you watch your team against like another team. So I don't think they played bad, but they didn't win, and they got smoked again. Their goaltending didn't really help. But I think my definitive opinion on the Leafs, like, going into playoffs this year, because we know they're playing Tampa, because the NHL playoff format sucks ass. Okay, because we know. I'm done watching games, by the way. Like, what for? Because we know who they're playing. Call me in April. But my opinion now is the same. They're the same team they've always been. They're a really, really good team who's not ready for prime time. That's all it is.
Like I said, they're frauds.
Yep.
I think the Leafs. Another thing that's surrounding the Leafs is a lot of trade talk. Of course, because they're the Leafs, and the main name being brought up is Jake McCabe of the Blackhawks, and I'm like, the more I watch the Leafs, I do think they need to shore up some positions. I always think they need to grab another defenseman. They need another forward that can score. They have, like, it's been a problem for a long time now. And Jake McCabe, I don't know how much he moves the needle. Like, people are saying, oh, get Jake McCabe and then grab Max Domi from them, make a deal out of that. And it's like, if that was the only trade Dubas made at the trade deadline, I'd be like, what is that really doing? You know what I mean? And that would be interesting. I don't know, Matt, if you've been keeping up with the Leafs trade talk at all. I'm sure anytime you scroll Twitter, it's always Leafs stuff. So what do you think's going on over there?
Yeah, the only thing I've been hearing is just like another like top six winger, and then like defense talk. I know after the Bruins game there was a lot of, I don't want to say slander, just like a lot of like criticism of Sandin and Liljegren, which, I mean, they're still young defensemen. It's not really warranted. Like, if it's like veteran defensemen, okay, they've been around the way in the league, right? But I mean, that's just unwarranted. It's the Bruins, right? That's like the creme de la creme of the league, and then two young defensemen had a bit of a rough game. Just move on to the next one. There's really no need to look on it as if they're awful defensemen. But Leafs fans just it's the doomers that sort of set it aside from the rest.
Well, no, the Leafs fans love living in the moment of the game and not like big picture,
which is fun sometimes.
Sometimes,
yeah. But okay, my big thing that everyone is talking about too is, like, you brought it up with the Jake McCabe thing. Dubas doesn't have a contract after this year. No signs that he's going to sign one. We have no idea. There's no word on it. Shanahan is up, right? Forget the players. Like, the GM and the president are up, right? And there's talk of you guys going to get Jake McCabe to make your Stanley Cup run. Like, it literally doesn't make sense to me. That's my whole thing. Like, how do you not trade?
Good player, Jake McCabe. But, like,
I know, no. But if you're going for a Stanley Cup, look at who the Bruins bring in every trade deadline, for example, right? Big fishes. They make it work. My thing is, like, everyone's like tiptoeing around, like, don't trade Matthew Nyes. Trade Sandin for a top guy. Like, you don't have a contract next year. Go for the cup. If you believe in this team, you're not going to be here next year if you're the GM. That's what it looks like right now. Go for it. And if it fails, at least you went down trying.
You remember when Alex Anthopoulos for the Jays just traded everyone, and then the Jays went on like a run?
Yeah.
And then he was like, all right, y'all be easy now, though. That was so funny.
Yeah. No, but, like, this, like, obviously he's going to get back pressure, Dubas this is, from, like, up top. Like, you don't have a contract. Maybe you you know, you might have to run trades by some people before he like sells the farm because he's like, screwed, I won't even be here. But like, honestly speaking, like if your big thing is going out and getting Jake McCabe, like what are you doing? Like the team is not good enough to win Stanley Cup. We know that.
I would love for them to go the Tampa route. Every year you rebuild your third line. You know what I mean? You upgrade the fuck out of it because you need those guys. Like every year they go get someone. Nick Paul and Brandon Hagel last year. Before that, it was Barclay Goodrow and fucking who was the other guy?
Oh, Blake Coleman.
Blake Coleman. Yeah, it's like what the like what? They're trading first round picks for all these guys, but they go out there in the playoffs. You know they play playoff style hockey, and the fucking Leafs. Oh, the Tampa knows the regular season.
Tampa knows.
Yeah, of course. Like Stamkos is gonna get his. Kucherov's gonna get his. When in the playoffs, it really matters when those guys are on the ice that you're winning those minutes. You know what I mean? So I say, you know, you swing for you need a top 6 left winger. You need that. I love Kelly Arnkrok. I think he's been cool, but I think he'd be a lot better as a third line guy. And, you know, pushing down, a little trickle
100%,
effect.
100%.
And I also wouldn't mind, like, what are we really doing here? Like, go for it, man. Look at the team you have. Look at the team you assembled. I think they're putting out everything I think is like they think Matthew Knies is gonna be like Cale Makar and like come in the league and like score 7 goals or like in the playoffs or something. Like, no, man. Like Cale Makar came into the league and he was one of the best defensemen in the league almost immediately. It was insane how good he was. But Matthew Knies is a 2nd round pick, so I don't know how much stock we're putting into that. So
and he could turn into a great player. And I know you want to move on from the segment, but he could turn into a great player, and that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, like, with everyone's ass on the line, especially this year, everyone's. If you truly believe in this group because you've kept them together this whole time, especially after the last 2-3 years of what's happened, how are you going out and getting more tiny little depth pieces that might not even play? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, right? And like I said, like Sandin's a great player too, and I think he'll be great. But if you're looking at the bigger picture and Dubas, you might not be back next year, Shanahan, all these guys, why wouldn't you trade a young guy in Sandin for a bona fide player? Go for it. We are going for the Stanley Cup this year. Like, instead of another first round loss, what's that going to get you? You're not getting re-signed if they lose in the first round again this year. You think Dubas and Shanahan, do they even know what's on the line this year? Everything. This is the all or nothing season.
And it's like we say that every year, but I also think that
Leafs fans.
It's like I think Kyle Dubas is one of the best GMs in the league. I really think he is. But at some point, man, you gotta do it.
It's just a vicious cycle. Like every single year, like you said, Nick, it's the all or nothing season, and then in the end, it's nothing. And then Leafs fans are, I'm going to stop being a fan, but in October, game 1, they're right there watching the teams.
Most passionate sports fans, though, man.
I think
sports is so reactionary, generally speaking, so it's interesting for sure.
It's like, I hate this team. I'll see you all next game.
I just honestly wonder, like, if they lose in the first round again this year to Tampa, because they'll be playing Tampa. Let's not kid ourselves, right? If they
it's just
lose
a matter
again,
of where.
And Dubas is let go, Shanahan is let go. And then it's like, what the hell happens to the team? Coming back next year, are people going to be like excited if you lose in the first round again? Because I can say personally, after they lost to Montreal, I didn't watch almost the first half of the next season.
Last season was awful to watch.
Yeah. Like,
even though Matthews won every goddamn trophy and scored 60 goals.
Yeah.
The first 2 months, it was like, y'all lost to Montreal, bro.
This who cares? I hate all of you. I'm just saying, if it happens again, like, the fan base is just going to be like, you're going to have to do, I don't know. I actually don't know what you do.
I don't know either.
So
but with that being said, moving on to Matt's favorite team. He's got the hat and the hoodie on. The Oilers have, I don't really know what they've been doing. So I have been reading some articles that they're looking at like every single goddamn defenseman in the league. One guy I thought that was interesting that I thought they could get for cheap was a guy like Shane Gostisbehere. I think he could be a pretty decent piece there. And I was looking at some numbers. Like they definitely need some stuff. Like, Matt, who is your most like realistic, appealing trade target for them?
I think you nailed it with Jake McCabe. Like, I'd like a guy like Jake McCabe because he only carries cap of like $4 million.
Yeah, and there's a little term on that, I think.
Yeah,
so that's not bad.
Not too bad. because I think a few episodes ago I said Gavrikov, but after seeing him play,
See what I say.
after
What I
seeing
say,
him
he's
play
terrible.
against the Flames and Oilers, it's like he's trying to play his way out of Columbus. That's how bad he is. But
What
I don't want a guy like that.
what about
And then
Chikrin?
We've had the
it,
Chikrin talk.
yeah, multiple times. It just all comes down to who Arizona wants. Like, sure, go all in, but there's a limit. There's a limit. I know. Oh, you're in the prime of McDavid's career. Mortgage the future.
Trade. If I was the Oilers, and like this is like aside from my like Broberg memes, I would trade like Broberg a first and like a forward for him. I think pretty easily.
For Chikrin, yeah, like Broberg, a first, and then a prospect like Xavier Bourgault. I could do something like that.
Like, dude, look at Chikrin, how good he is, and look how much money he makes. That's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've talked about Chikrin for like hours and hours on this podcast, so we'll move past it. But Matt, what else has been going on in oil country?
Since the last time we recorded, dropped a decision to Columbus 3-2 in overtime, where the team just looked lethargic the whole game. The best player that night of all players is Derek Ryan. I'll leave it at that. And then beat the Hawks 7-3. I mean, everybody beats the Hawks. Had the bye week, and then a nice little 4-game stretch after the All-Star break back on the 7th against Detroit. And then you got Detroit, Philly, Ottawa, Montreal, and Detroit again. So pretty
they
solid.
should be able to string together some wins there.
Pretty
Hopefully.
solid, yeah. The next team that's in a playoff spot that we play are the Rangers, and that's not until February 17th. So beginning of February, and the next good team that we play not until the middle of the month. Nice a nice opportunity to make up some ground because sorry Nick, in the Pacific, between first and fourth, there's a separation of 3 points because you got Seattle with 63 and they're tied with the Kings. But Seattle and Los Angeles both at 63, but Seattle has 4 games in hand, which is just
doesn't LA have a negative goal differential right now or something?
LA does.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Vegas is a point behind at 62. If there's a team I don't want to run into in the playoffs fully healthy, are the Knights.
They're never fully healthy though.
That's the thing. If they were fully healthy here, fellas, keyword here is if, and then Edmonton's sitting at 4th in the Pacific, and then there's Calgary. But we've talked plenty about Calgary on the podcast, so it's very, very optimistic. But then again, it's the Oilers. I've sort of lived through this where there's the expectations that they're going to run through the league and then they miss the playoffs. Obviously, they probably won't miss the playoffs this year. They're sitting in the first wild card spot, and surprising Colorado. I know they've dealt the injury hand, injury, but they're still in a second wild card spot. So that's phenomenal. So, other than that, in oil country, not really a whole lot. I know 3 All-Stars. Nobody really cares about the All-Star game, but 3 All-Stars. Leon Draisaitl, McDavid, and Stuart Skinner, all named. Am I gonna watch? Probably not. But yeah, that is the lowdown for the Oilers.
Yeah, and I also think that with the Oilers, look at schedule, they could bank a lot of points there. That could be really nice for them.
Yeah.
And then another thing that came out is two interesting quotes, or 3 interesting things. Number one, Draisaitl said he's not playing as well as he could this season, which I agree with. It seems like even though he has that production where when you check the NHL leading scorers, he's always there. But I feel like when you watch him, he's missing a step, probably because the crazy injuries he's dealt with last season. Number 2 is McDavid also said he's never been an elite goal scorer, which he always has been, even when he wasn't putting up the insane goal numbers that he has this year. And number 3 is McDavid is not doing fastest skater this year, and he's like the token fastest skater in the league. So not that it really matters, but I think when like people go to see McDavid at the All-Star Skills competition, they want to see him in that comp. But I know he's doing accurate shooting, which he'll also probably win as well. So that should be a lot of fun. Darius, what was your point you wanted to make?
Before we move on, Nick, quick shout out to the emergency backup goalie from the University of Alberta, Golden Bears, Matt Berlin. That was a pretty cool moment. I'm not gonna lie. The quotes about it being disrespectful, who cares? He's never gonna get this opportunity in his life ever again.
Can I talk about that to like his like great grandkids, man? It's insane.
Yeah.
It's the Hawks. I think what the Hawks have done to their own organization over the past few years, that's disrespectful. But putting in like an e-bug, or it wasn't even an e-bug, he was signed to like an amateur tryout.
Yeah.
It was the last 3 minutes of the game. The Oilers were up by 4. Who cares? It's not disrespectful.
It could
It's
have
just
been any team.
It's giving a guy a cool moment. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Good for him.
it could have been any team, man. Like it doesn't matter. Like that's a cool moment for the guy. It's not like the team's disrespecting the other team.
Yeah.
Like
My
read the
thing is
room.
like, yeah, if your opinion goes further than, man, that was pretty cool, you're a loser. Like,
yeah,
come on,
literally,
bro.
like that was a cool moment. Like that's all.
Yeah, and like, good for him. It's an amazing story. And Darius, what did you want to say about the Oilers? It looked like you had something a point.
It wasn't about the Oilers. So okay, I was looking at the standings because we all know the West sucks compared to the East, right? And it's kind of laughable. So you brought up like the Kings differential, which is -10, and they're in second place, which is laughable. And the Oilers are right in there. They're kind of in that fight. Like the Oilers are right there. They could still take first very easily, right? But I was like going through the rest of the conference because obviously the East is pretty locked in, except for a few teams. And I was looking, I'm like, wow, Winnipeg has such like a way better record than the Stars. How are the Stars ahead of them by 1 point? The Stars have 10 overtime losses. 10.
I think there's
first place.
Yeah, there's a Peter DeBoer quote. He said something like, "There's an athletic poll. It's like, do you want 10 minutes of 3-on-3 overtime?" And DeBoer's like, "Well, no, we're 2 and 10 in overtime. Give us the shootout whenever we can."
Yeah,
So,
10 overtime losses. Like that's crazy.
like for the skill that they have, like Robertson in 3-on-3, he should be automatic. He should be like McDavid and Draisaitl.
But that's
it though.
That's it. You can't use Pavelski. Pavelski is not a good 3-on-3 player, right? You got who else? You got like Sagan is like
Jamie Benn is slow. Tyler Sagan is like a shell of himself.
Yeah,
or even like Heiskanen too.
Even Jason Robertson is not the fastest player. He's a very good player, but he's not the fastest player. So they're a very like heavy Western Conference team.
They're such a Western Conference team. They really are.
Boring, heavy. Like they have one like Robertson's a great player, like flashy, is great for that team because otherwise it'd be so boring. But like the rest of the team is just so boring.
For sure.
But I just thought that was really funny.
With that being said, though, today TSN put out a top 25 list, and whenever there's a list for anything, Twitter just loves eating it up. For me personally, when I see a list, I just be like, oh, okay. Lists are subjective. Let's move on and worry about something else today. Like, I don't know, anything else, even the All-Star game. Worry about that. But today they put out their mid-season rankings for the top 25 players in the NHL this season, of course. And what we're gonna do, because these two haven't seen the entire list yet, I have it open on my other screen here. We're gonna go through it one by one, and these guys are gonna guess who is at what place. I'll give them one guess each, and then I'll say it. We'll discuss it, and we'll go on to the next one. All right, ready? Number 25 player in the league this year. Who is it? Matt, go to you first.
Number 25.
Eastern Conference player.
Eastern Conference player. Svechnikov. I feel like he should be a lot higher than 25.
Andrei Svechnikov is. I don't see him on the list.
Oh,
so, really? Okay.
Wow.
I don't see him on the list.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Steven Stamkos.
It is Steven Stamkos, number
Okay.
25. Number 25, Steven
These really
Stamkos.
are mid-season.
Yeah.
Number 25, Steven Stamkos.
I don't know if Stamkos has had a really good year, but I don't know. I like Svechnikov. For him to not be on the list, that's
I'm gonna open up.
That's weird.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up Hockey Reference here so we can kind of look into their stats a little bit. So right now, Steven Stamkos, 48 games played, 24 goals, 33 assists, 57 points. Now, points don't always tell the whole story, but that's not bad. I don't think so. And Andrei Svechnikov, who I don't see on the list unless I'm illiterate, which could be possible. Andrei Svechnikov is not even point per game, fellas. So
Wow, okay.
let's stop being surprised there, shall we?
I'll calm it down a bit here.
42 points in 51 games, 19 goals, 23 assists. Stamkos is doing way better than that. With that being said, though, we will move on. Steven Stamkos, you guys have any problems with him being 25? I really don't.
No.
No. He's always been consistent when he's healthy.
Yeah, number 24, Western Conference player, Darius, you guess first this time.
Erik Karlsson.
Not Eric Carlson.
All right.
West. I'm just trying to think of like Western players.
He's had a little bit of a bounce back season this year.
A little bit of a bounce back season.
Honestly, couldn't tell you.
Morrissey? Josh Morrissey?
It will be from the Vancouver Canucks, Elias Pettersson.
All right.
Okay.
24 rated by TSN. So Elias Pettersson, man, some people wrote him off last season, although he did deal with some injuries, coaching changes, the Canucks, which you could just say is the same thing again this year. But right now, so last season, Elias Pettersson has 68 points in 80 games. This year, he already has 58 points in 47 games. So he's playing very good. 21 goals, 37 assists. Controlling the ice when he's around, like he's been really good this year. Prior to that, he's always been this type of player, and you could say last season was an anomaly. So 24, Elias Pettersson, I got no problems with that.
Agreed.
Of course.
Yeah.
Number 23 from the Eastern Conference, Matt. Who's your guess?
I'm gonna go Ovi.
It is not. It is not Ovechkin.
Sidney Crosby.
Number 23 is from your Toronto Maple Leafs. Number 34,
okay.
Austin Matthews.
Really?
23rd halfway through the season. They're saying Austin Matthews is the 23rd best player in the league this season. Now, Austin Matthews not having, not scoring 60 goals again, so people are kind of souring on him. But when I look at his counting stats here, guy has 25 goals in 47 games, 28 points. 28 assists, 53 points in 47 games. He's dominating. I'm pretty sure his defensive numbers are also decent this year. Eye test tells me he's been more committed to the defensive end again. He's in the right spots, getting his stick in the way, but he's always just been like that. Last year he was top 10 in Selke voting, which isn't the most, but it's pretty good. He's on pace for about 47-ish goals, and sometimes he might go on a heater and score 50 because randomly he just does that. But he also might miss the next 3 games, so we'll see what happens with him. But number 23, Austin Matthews. So now we go to number 22, Eastern Conference player. Who did I go to first? Matt last time or Darius? I don't remember.
You went to me last round.
All right, Darius, number 22 from the Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference player. Oh, I'm going to guess Matt Tkachuk, but I feel like he could be higher.
It's not Matt Tkachuk.
Okay.
See, I'm gonna go the same route. He might be a little higher. I'm gonna go Mitch Marner. I feel like Marner and Matthews back to back.
Number 22 from the Washington Capitals. Number 8 left wing. Alexander Ovechkin.
I was one spot early.
One off.
Honestly, that's impressive, Matt. I'll give that to you.
Alex Ovechkin this year, 32 goals already, 54 points in 52 games. We know who Ovechkin is. We don't need to discuss it too much. He's going to score goals. He's going to do, he's a fun player off the ice. But this year, they're saying he's currently one spot better than Austin Matthews, which personally,
all right,
I would disagree with. But number 21, Matt, from the Western Conference, who was number 21?
Again, he might be a little bit higher because he's one of the best in his position. I'm gonna go Connor Hellebuck.
It is not Connor Hellebuck.
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing, but my backup plan is Josh Morrissey, just because he's a defenseman. He might be a little higher. But that was my guess actually, because he's a goaltender. I thought he would be a little higher.
You guys were so close. Number 21.
No way.
From the Winnipeg Jets, Kyle Connor. You guys were so.
No.
He said Connor Hellebuck. You said Josh Morrissey. When he said Connor, I was like, oh shit, he's got it. But not Connor Hellebuck and Josh Morrissey. So you guys are both wrong, but same team. Now Kyle Connor this year, he is having an amazing season. All the Jets are. Guys, 24 goals and 35 assists for 59 points in 52 games. Just playing, pretty good hockey. He's always just been an insane goal scorer, man. Last year he had 47 goals in 79 games, which is also insane. So
not so bad.
Kyle Connor, better than Austin Matthews? The question must be asked, fellas. I'm gonna make this a case for every single player we talk about.
Apparently
Matthews is 23rd.
Yeah.
23rd. Number 20 from the Eastern Conference. Darius, who was number 20?
I'm gonna go with Mitch Marner on this one. I feel like they wouldn't put him too high on the list. He's had a great season, so I'm going to go with Mitch Marner, All-Star.
Matt?
Same team. I'm gonna go Nylander, William Nylander.
Number 20 for the Toronto
Oh,
Maple Leafs, right
nice.
wing,
Ah,
William Nylander. William Nylander is
nice,
20th
nice.
ranked this year. He is having a career season. He's controlling the ice on both ends. He's dominating. Should have been an All-Star this year, I think. But
Yeah,
William
most
Nylander,
definitely.
man, looking at his stats, 28 goals in 52 games, 59 points, 52. He's on pace for like 93 points, easily a career year, and he does not make the All-Star game this season. Easily the best season of his career. It's not close. And now we move on to number 19 from the Western Conference. Matt, who is number 19?
Number 19 is number 97, Kirill Kaprizov.
Darius?
Oh, that's a good one. I think this is where I'll use my Hellebuck. I think it's Connor.
Oh, you
Hellebuck.
can guess twice.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
fellas.
This is where I'll use my Hellebuck. My
I was
guesses
gonna
for
say,
the
like-
rest of the list is Hellebuck.
I was gonna say Connor McDavid every time until we get to spoiler he's
Until we
one.
get- yeah.
But number 19 is from the Colorado Avalanche defenseman. Number 8, Cale Makar, is 19th. TSN says the 19th best player at the midseason of the NHL. Cale Makar this year, I believe he's had a slow season. Last year he basically had elite forward level production on the back end. This year though, 45 points in 44 games, 13 goals, 32 assists. He's having an amazing season, better than Austin Matthews. Now we go to number 18 in the Western Conference as well. Matt, who is it? I think I went to Matt first. Last time, whatever. Matt, go again.
I'm gonna take Hellebuck. Yeah,
Okay.
eat it, Darius.
Yeah, I can't guess Hellebuck. I think Morrissey is honestly higher on the list than this. So considering the names that are coming out, I'm gonna guess his teammate, Nathan McKinnon from the Colorado Avalanche.
Nathan McKinnon is number 18 on the list, fellas.
Let's go.
One ranked ahead of Cale Makar here.
Let's
Nathan
go.
McKinnon dealt with some injuries this year, but he's still out there putting up amazing production. One of the most electric skaters in the league. Maybe not the fastest, but when he hits you with that stride, he's gone. This year, he has 54 points in 37 games. Absolutely insane. I feel like he should be almost ranked higher based on that. He has 13 goals, 41 assists, which is absolutely
Wow.
crazy. And just dominating, man. Colorado Avalanche dealt with some injuries, but a guy like McKinnon, he's holding them in that playoff spot. So now we move on to the next spot, which is number 17 from the Western Conference. Darius, who is it?
Hellebuck.
Matt?
It's been very our guesses have been very Winnipeg heavy from the West because they're probably one of the more well-rounded teams.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. I think this one's Morrissey. I think this one here is Morrissey.
From your Winnipeg Jets, defenseman Josh Morrissey takes this spot. Josh Morrissey this year also having a career year here, fellas. He's rocking that power play. He's been amazing. A lot of people always thought Josh Morrissey had a kind of dynamic offensive game in him. We never really saw it to this level, but this year, man, Josh Morrissey he's point per game player, 53 and 52, dominating on the power play. He has 43 assists, and on the power play, as I said, the guy goes to work. 21 power play assists and 22 even strength assists. He's killing it, absolutely killing it this year. 23 minutes ice. The guy's an absolute minute eater. You'll see him in Norris conversation. Josh Norrisy, as some people might say, is the 17th ranked player. Now we go to number 16 in the Western Conference. Matt, who is it?
I'm gonna go Mikko Rantanen on this one. I feel like he should be a lot higher, but I think that's like sort of the sweet spot for Rantanen.
Okay, Darius?
Connor Hellebuck.
From your Winnipeg Jets goalie,
let's
Connor
go.
Hellebuck.
All right, now we can end that.
Connor Hellebuck is number 16 ranked. Now, Connor Hellebuck, I don't really need to get into his numbers. You know he's good. One of the best
Stud.
goalies in the league. One of the most consistent goalies in the league. Just always amazing. When the Winnipeg Jets were bad, he was amazing. Now that they're good, he's still amazing. So, at number 16, is Connor Hellebuck. Now, number 15 from the Western Conference, Darius. Who is number 15?
Western Conference?
Yep.
David
This,
Riddick.
oh boy.
Connor Hellebuyck.
Yeah. This might be. Ooh, I'm gonna guess Kaprizov because Matt said that, and I feel like there are some better names on the list coming up. Like we're already halfway there, so
Yeah.
15. So I'm gonna go Kaprizov.
The interesting thing to be to choose a different name, but I think this one's Kaprizov too.
From the Minnesota Wild, Kirill Kaprizov is number 15. You guys are doing pretty good, all things considered.
After the Svechnikov pick,
like...
I kind of smartened up.
Kirill Kaprizov this year just been electric since he entered the NHL. 59 points in 48 games, 27 goals, 32 assists. He just controls the ice every time he's out there. One of the only reasons people watch the Minnesota Wild. This year, he's averaging 20 minutes on ice. Power play, he also gets his. He has 13 power play goals, 14 even strength goals, and then 18 even strength assists and 14 power play assists. So he gets it done. He gets it done. Kirill Kaprizov last year he had 108 points in 81 games, and it looks like he could be on the same kind of pace this year. 3 goals away from 30, and playing amazing. Now, let me get a drink of water here. Sorry. Number 14 from the Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference.
Matt, who is number 14?
Number 14. Ever since he was drafted, I've always had a thing for Swedish defensemen, just, the well-rounded way that they play. So I'm going to go from the Buffalo Sabres, Mr. Rasmus Dahlin.
Okay.
That's a great pick.
I was leaning
not a bad
there
pick.
too. That's a great pick. I'm going to go Sidney Crosby.
Number 16 on your Toronto Maple Leafs, Mitch Marner is number 14 on the list. Marner,
okay.
Insane season. He was on that 24 game point streak earlier in the year. 60 points in 52 games. He's 1 goal away from 20, 40 assists, all-star. Mitch Marner is having another good season. This is kind of what we expect from Mitch Marner at this point. Playing amazing. Now, we go to number 13 in the Eastern Conference. Darius, who is number 13?
I'm going to pick Dahlin on this one because I think it's him.
I'm gonna go the rat himself, Matt Tkachuk. I think this one's Tkachuk.
Number 13 from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Number 87 center Sidney Crosby.
I knew he was coming up.
Once again, Sidney Crosby. They write the guy. They write the guy off every goddamn year, and he still puts up amazing numbers. 60 points in 49 games. Are we serious here, fellas? 24 goals, 36 assists.
He's still
Sidney
got it.
Crosby, man. He's still got it. He has not fallen off at all when you look at his production. He's been over a point per game player since he entered the league, and he has never been less than that. He's on pace again for an amazing season, and, decently ranked here, I think, at number 13. Now, at number 12, from the Eastern Conference, Matt, who is it?
Okay, the names I previously mentioned, they might be a little higher. For this one, I'm going to go Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes, okay.
I'll go with Matt Tkachuk on this one.
Number 12 from the Buffalo Sabres defenseman.
Oh,
Rasmus
Dahlin. Oh, come on.
Rasmus Dahlin. When he came into the league, they thought he was going to be the next Erik Karlsson. And for a little bit, they wrote the guy off. And he's 20. Rasmus Dahlin is 22 years old right now.
It's crazy.
Right now, he has 55 points, 49 games. The Buffalo Sabres, can attribute a lot of the success to him and one other player. But, he's been amazing this season, man. He gets it done on the power play, even strength. He plays 26 minutes a night. He eats minutes. It's insane. Rasmus Dahlin becoming one of the best defensemen in the NHL, as most people thought he would be coming into the draft. But now we go to number 11, Eastern Conference player.
Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference. Darius, who is it?
I hate to say the same name twice in a row, but he has to be here because we're getting to the nitty gritty. It's Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, it's got to be Tkachuk. If he's higher than top 10,
that's
a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
From the Florida Panthers,
Let's
left winger, Matt Tkachuk. I actually don't know if he's a left winger. He might be a right winger.
I think he's a left winger, yeah.
Matthew Tkachuk got traded to Florida in the offseason, and he has been their main bright spot throughout the entire year. After falling off, they had a lot of injuries. They're doing a lot of stuff. But Matthew Tkachuk, man, 66 points in 49 games. It's insane. He already has 25 goals. He can, once again, he's just dominant, man. The guy, he's just insane. I still don't think people realize how good he is. Last year, 104 points in 82 games. This year he's on pace for something similar. Played 20 minutes a night. He has been absolutely a gem in that trade for the Florida Panthers, a team that, been a little worse compared to last season. You could probably blame that on Paul Maurice, though. Now, number 10, Matt, from the Western Conference. Who is number 10?
Okay, I got two names. One's going to be a lot higher, but I think I said Rantanen a few picks ago, but I think it's going to be Rantanen here.
Darius?
It's hard to argue that because I don't think Rantanen would be much higher than this. I have a couple names where I think they're higher. So it would have to be Rantanen.
From the Colorado Avalanche, Mikko Rantanen
That's right.
is the 10th best player in the league according to TSN right now. Honestly, not a bad choice here. 61 points, 34 goals, 48 games. He's been amazing for them. He's been one of the players that hasn't really been injured as well. Just dominating last year, 92 points. I don't mind this pick at all for number 10. Now we move on to number 9 from the Eastern Conference once again. Darius, who is number 9?
Matt Murray from the Toronto. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna go with goaltender, Boston Bruins, Linus Ullmark.
Okay, Matt.
I think I said this a few picks ago. I think this would have been like in the low teens or maybe the high teens, whatever. Jack Hughes. I'm going to use my Hughes pick again.
From the New Jersey Devils,
Okay.
number 86, Jack Hughes is currently the 9th best player in the league according to TSN. Jack Hughes, you've heard a lot about him this year. The guy came into the league and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's a bust." He literally did like nothing in his rookie season, but for some reason nowadays in sports we like to write off 19 and 20 years old when they come into the league and play against like guys that are like 30. So right now Jack Hughes is 64 points in 49 games, 33 goals already. Jack Hughes playing amazing. Now we go to number 8, Matt, from the Eastern Conference once again. Who is number 8?
Okay, before we recorded, I took a peek at the top 5 because I didn't know this was going to be here. But from the Eastern Conference, it's got to be Ullmark. He's like the best goalie this year.
Darius?
I'm starting to think now Ullmark might be higher because of how well the Bruins have played. So I'm gonna go with Nikita Kucherov, Tampa Bay Lightning.
Number 8 from the Boston Bruins, goaltender Linus Ullmark is the 8th best player according to TSN this year. Linus Ullmark, man, what a season he is having, fellas. He just dominant player this year. The guy doesn't lose, it seems like.
And they
last year
they play a great system.
They do,
for
but
him.
The guy is 26-4-1 with a 937 save percentage. Like, what the hell? Last year, you know what's crazy too? He was a 917 and he got better. He got way better. He's just having an electric season. His goal saved above average is 29. 29. That is absolutely insane. Linus Ullmark, man, what a season he is having. Now, we go to number 7 from the Western Conference. Darius. Who is it, man? Who is it?
I was thinking Jason Robertson, but I think he's way better than that still. So I'm going to go, I said him way back at the beginning, Erik Karlsson.
Matt.
I feel like I said, I took a peek at the top 5 and it's like one of these two. Like if it's not one, it's the other. Darius went Karlsson. I'm gonna go Robertson.
Number 7 from the San Jose Sharks, number 65, Erik Karlsson. Look like he's gonna come back and win the Norris this year. The guy has defenseman on the Sharks, 66 points in 51 games. Are you serious?
It's actually alarming how good he's doing this year.
Yes, it's alarming, and he should win the Norris. It's unfortunate that his contract is so big. Wouldn't it be awesome to see this guy go on another cup run? But unfortunately, that is just not going to happen because the guy makes $11.5 million for 4 more years. Last year, he was way below. This guy has 30 more points than he did last year in the same amount of games. He's just cracked. Erik Karlsson, absolutely cracked. I think he wins the Norris if the season ends today pretty handedly. Now, number 6, you guys probably know who it is based on your other guesses. Jason Robertson from the Dallas Stars. Once again, having a good season. Now, Matt, you said you looked at the top 5, right?
I did. Yes.
So, Darius, we're just doing a quick hit here, okay? Number 5, Eastern Conference.
I guessed them earlier, I'm gonna go with Kucherov.
Nikita Kucherov is number 5.
Let's go.
Number 4 from the Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference?
Yep.
Did we say Jack Hughes? We said Jack Hughes?
Yeah, Jack Hughes was number 9.
Eastern Conference. I don't know. Shit. I don't know. Who is it?
Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres.
Oh my God.
Is number 4
Tage
this
Thompson
year.
Off?
Last year, Tage Thompson had an amazing season. He got a lucrative extension. He's come back, and the guy's been even better this year.
Well
You could
deserved.
argue he could be. You could argue he could be in the Hart Trophy conversation of Buffalo makes the playoffs this year. 34 goals, 34 assists, 68 points, 50 games. The guy is absolutely amazing. Well worth that contract that he got.
Can I just say his nickname is probably one of the hardest in the league? I mean, his nickname is Tage against the Machine. Like that's
awesome.
fantastic. I need a shirt that says that, and I don't even like the Sabres.
I hope the Sabres
Now-
make the playoffs. Like, that's a great story.
But they would beat the Leafs in like 4 games, so I'm cool on that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Number three, Eastern Conference player, Darius.
Like, it's probably like none of we've said all the Leafs that would be up there. I don't think there would be another Lightning up there. I'm gonna guess he's had a really good season. Bruins are on top. Probably Pasternak.
David Pasternak is number 3, and number 1 and 2.
Leon Draisaitl number 1, and McDavid number 2. Clearly.
Leon Draisaitl is number 2, and Connor McDavid takes home the number 1 spot. So, if you guys were to remember, what's your biggest gripe with this list? Matthews being 23 is
Matthews. Yeah, way too low. Personally, like he's not playing like he did last year. That should not dictate where he sits on a list about this year. He's still like putting up amazing points. Honestly, the rest of the list is pretty good. I think Mitch Marner probably a little higher. The things he's done this year, higher on the list.
I would have Nylander above Marner, personally.
That too.
I think Nylander's been better.
That too.
I would have
higher.
I would have Allmark top 5. Like,
Yeah.
It might just be like the system the Bruins play, but like he's phenomenal. Like the game against the Bruins, he was like calm all game. And that's ridiculous. Like all season long, when I watch the Bruins on mute because they don't want to listen to Jack Edwards, like they're just a fun team to watch. As much as I want to hate the Bruins, they're a well-oiled machine. And Allmark should be top 5.
The one guy Allmark reminds me of when I watch him play, like when they played the Leafs the other day, is when Halak was with the Habs. He reminds me of Halak, like just so calm. You're like, does he know he's in the game? But he just stops everything. Like he's so zoned in.
It also reminds me of like those games where like Freddie Anderson was good on the Leafs. But, like, he was just like, stuff isn't going in. And I think having a guy like that going into the playoffs is extremely scary. But with that being said, guys, that was a lot of fun. We should do more stuff like that. Now I just want to say thank you guys all for listening so far. Hit like, subscribe, hit that bell. Follow us TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. But
5 stars on Spotify.
Yep.
That's right.
5 stars, Apple Music, do all that cool stuff on audio. But now we go on to the rap question, which is not a hockey question this time. I'm trying to branch out a little bit. Now, fellas, aside from water, because everyone will just say water, it's a cop-out answer. What is the best beverage of all time? Matt.
It's my beverage of choice whenever I'm gaming. You guys normally hear me crack open one every time. I'm going to go with a Canada Dry ginger ale.
Okay.
And more specifically, during the holidays, the cranberry ginger ale.
Matt, you're also a big Dr. Pepper guy, right?
More often than not. Like, if I have to go, like, with, like, an actual, like, carbonated pop, I go with, like, a Coke Zero or Pepsi Max.
Okay.
I know Nick said no water, but carbonated water goes hard. But
Shut the fuck up.
I
Guys drinking TV static. Shut up.
I wanted to like argue a bit on this, this segment, but like, I can't argue ginger ale. It's literally top tier. It's the best. Way better than everything else.
Like it's a higher class like Sprite and 7-Up. Like once I started drinking like ginger ale, like I couldn't go back to Sprite or 7-Up.
Like, that sounds like an infomercial at 4 a.m. That's what that sounded like.
Yeah,
Ever since I started drinking
Canada Dry,
not sponsored by ginger ale.
They're not sponsoring me, but my DMs are open. So,
fellas, I'm gonna pick the best drink of all time, hands down. Give me chocolate milk, fellas. Let's stop playing here. Let's stop playing here with arguably the greatest in the game. With chocolate milk, you're getting a guy who is just versatile, bro. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, after a workout, before a workout.
Facts.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Give me chocolate milk, bro. Give me chocolate milk. That's who you're getting with chocolate milk, bro. Any brand, it's not that expensive. You go into the store, you get a carton, any size, bro. The only downside of chocolate milk is when you go out to a store, there's no free refills. Where ginger ale has the advantage. I will say that.
Yes. Now, you can get different flavors as well. You can't get different flavors of chocolate milk. When you drink chocolate milk, it could be breakfast, lunch, dinner. You're drinking the same
but that's
flavor.
what you're expecting with chocolate milk, though.
I know,
You
but don't
what
you
you're
get
getting.
sick of it?
No, it's fucking chocolate milk.
There's no
Fuck
way you
outta
get
here.
sick of chocolate milk.
Fuck out of here.
Are you
That's like
sure?
that's like
bro?
saying you get sick of water. I know water's not a choice, but you can't physically get sick of water.
So
It's always there for you.
That's right.
chocolate milk. Some of my runners up are a little Nestea, big Nestea guy. I fuck with Nestea.
Yeah.
And then you know, keeping it like I could get like really like red flag here and say like a good milkshake, but like I don't think that's fair. We were just saying a quick little sippy beverages.
desserts.
You
Yeah.
can get anywhere.
In honorable mention, remember when like your school had those like athletic days and there's the big cooler of like the orange drink? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Like
is
those small cups, that's not enough. Give me 6.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
And then
let me go on my way.
Dude, I talk about like beverages forever, but like Voltage Mountain Dew is a classic for me. I love Voltage Mountain Dew. What others? Fruitopia. The McDonald's.
Yeah.
Fountain drink thing. There's crack in all those drinks. I don't know what like the Sprite is like. I turn into like the y'all remember like the electric balsami from like Transit on Black Ops 2? Like I turned into that guy.
You turn into Jamie Foxx's
niche
Electro.
reference.
You turn into Jamie Foxx's Electro. That's what you turn into.
Spider-Man 2. I start playing dubstep everywhere I walk. Like,
Yeah.
That'd be the type of shit I'd be on.
No,
And then
Fruitopia from McDonald's, Fruitopia and Sprite.
yes,
Mixed
well,
together.
that's the Toronto Man potion.
That's right.
Y'all gotta
That's
stop playing.
Toronto Man
Y'all gotta stop
potion.
playing.
If I mix, I do like the orange Fruitopia in the root beer. Big fan of that.
I've never tried that.
That shit sounds like ass. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, you can't knock it till you try it. But
Yeah,
I
you
will
can't.
argue
I'm knocking
that-
it right now. I'm knocking it right now.
or
It does sound
when you go to
like
or when you go to Wendy's or Subway, you know how they have like the Coke Freestyle or like the Pepsi machines?
Oh, like the
or it's like the
touchscreen
touch
one.
screens?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god. No, but Taco Bell, they got Baja Blast.
they do have
So-
Baja Blast.
So you gotta give them some respect there.
But see the thing about the touchscreen, like the fountains, is like I'm spending so long picking what I want to drink, and then my food gets cold. Like
Yeah.
I'm so indecisive
Nah,
on
bro,
what
you're
I
in there
want.
in the settings because each one has
Yeah.
different like settings. It's like, nah.
Like vanilla Dr. Pepper. Like
yeah, they have
my-
like you click on it and then there's like 7 flavors of the drink you wanted.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
How do you
Let's
fit all
relax
that
here.
in here? Like
Let me get a refill right now. Let me get a
like,
refill.
fill this up for me.
you get
Now.
the drink and then you forget how you got to the menu with the drink you got. Like you don't
Yeah,
know
you're
how to
like
get the
you're like
refill of
okay,
the
I
drink.
went here, then I went here,
Yeah.
then I pressed pour. It's a lot of fun, but fellas, that being said, good conversation. We do want to say thank you all for listening again to this episode. Thank you for my fellow co-hosts for joining me. Darius, our producer, does everything behind the scenes. Any TikTok that's uploaded, any short, anything, that's him. Matt, he pays for the Zoom account, so he puts in his work. And me,
I do what I can.
I most of the time I format the show and I host, for those that don't know, and I press upload on the TikToks because I have the TikTok account sign in and I forgot the password, so there's nowhere else we're logging into it. But that being said, fellas, if you are listening to this in the day, have a great day. Listen at the night, have a great night. And fellas, it's a cold world, so y'all better bundle up. It's getting cold out there. Drive safe, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out, everyone.
For more content, visit our YouTube channel and check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to follow the guys on social media at Matt_Mondays, at Nick LaFlame, and at Darius Dominguez.